3 years ago, Trump supporters attempted to break into the Capitol building in an effort to A, stop the elector count that would have certified Biden as the rightful victor in the 2020 presidential race, and B, murder people. The intent to lynch politicians who were preventing this process was not exactly a secret. This now, predictably, we've seen kind of like a sine wave conservative support for this. Like initially at the very beginning, and we know this because of the January 6th report, Donald Trump knew what was happening. He knew he was lying. He knew he was enabling an attempted insurrection. People were begging Trump to like say something publicly, to stand down, to stop it. I've covered the Jan 6 committee reports on the stream before. All the evidence we have indicates clearly and with no room for doubt that it was an attempted insurrection. There's just no getting around that. Since then, conservative support has gone like up and down and up and down. A lot of conservatives performatively denounced it at the time because it was bad optics and they thought Trump was washed. But since then, and especially now, conservatives are understanding that Donald Trump is actually the only hope of their pathetic, crumbling party. And for that reason, support for January 6th is back on up. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene have always been pro-Jan 6. They've been eulogizing and supporting the rioters. But now the mainstream conservative, Republican position seems to be like, yeah, actually January 6th was good. They will alternate back and forth in between saying they weren't doing anything wrong and, well, if they were, it was actually right. They know they're lying to analyze the extent to which their dishonesty is clear. Here. I retweeted this. This one's a classic, a modern classic. So right here we have Vivek Ramaswamy saying Happy Entrapment Day, essentially saying that January 6th was an FBI effort to entrap Trump supporters. It's a common conspiracy theory. You'll notice, by the way, that like there will be some conservatives who will say it was all fake, some who will say that it was entrapment, some who will say nothing wrong happened, and some who will openly say, yeah, we wanted to do an insurrection, it was good, and all of them will get along. Like, those are four completely mutually exclusive beliefs, and conservatives will believe one or several or all of them and get along because they all know that they're lying. Anyway, here's Vivek back in 2021.
This might be controversial to say, but I think that when I saw the disgrace that unfolded at the footsteps of the Capitol on January 6th, I cried. I was in tears when I watched on television that day.
So again, you can do stuff like that with like all of them. Basically, again, they're all liars. None of them believe anything. They're fascists. They don't believe in truth. They're anti-empiricists. They're demons. They're inhuman. They want to put you in a death camp. They want you dead. We are literally talking about conservatives defending their insurrectionary attempt. I mean, this is beer hall putsch shit, right? Like, what stakes get higher than fascists running for election telling you the last time they attempted to seize power violently, we'll get you next time. It's pretty straightforward. But what do you think the GOP will do that's going to be genocidal? If the GOP had full control over the country, which they could very well get with enough maneuvering if they won in the presidential, then at the very least, absolute minimum, we'd be talking about forced detransitioning for trans people. A very high probability, at least in some areas, of sort of mandatory conversion camps. That's not exactly historically unprecedented. We would also probably see a promotion of broader anti-sodomy laws. The AG of Texas has flatly just said he would do that, arrest people for being gay. So at bare minimum, there's a pretty strong baseline for the assumption that they're a broad, just like arresting of queer people or detaining or whatever. And that's just what they admit to, by the way. During the BLM protests, AG Barr talked about invoking sedition charges against protesters. It's very likely that they would just arrest you for protesting. So you could say goodbye to any First Amendment rights in a practical sense. They would keep that. There would probably be mostly undocumented atrocities against the undocumented population. An enormous amount of money would be spent on security forces down on the southern border, both for wall construction, sure, but also in all likelihood for mass mistreatment, deportation, or in some cases killing of migrants coming up from the southern border. There would probably also be pogroms in southern towns that have large populations of undocumented people, accusations flying wild. These are just off the top, but like things get in and they get worse, What I've listed is not even close to being comprehensive, but even the threat of these elements is enough, I think, to, warrant the highest possible level of caution with the GOP. That roving death squads comment, that's not a joke. Oh, no, not at all. There are plenty of right-wing groups operating locally in Texas that essentially have the backing, or at least the verbal support, of local Republican leaders that essentially are just like local death squads. Yeah. They, at the moment, can't get away with the worst things they want to do, though they have gotten away with some stuff. But yeah, it's, yeah. Plans if/when things go south, you're leaving the country. Well, thanks to you guys, I am a multi-billionaire. So yeah, I would probably go to, yeah, I don't know. I'd go to sort of an ice fortress in Greenland, you know. The moon, perhaps. Elenita Express. I think that Texas is very capable of shifting blue with some effective and intelligent investment. Texas, if there wasn't shenanigans during the 2020 election with the removal of ballot boxes in predominantly black and brown areas, Texas would have been within a few points of being a Dem state. Like, not far at all. So voter suppression is necessary for them to keep the lid on at the moment, but Texas is going to get more blue with every election. You know why? I'll tell you why. For one, immigrants. And for two, West Coast expats who want to flee the high real estate prices of Los Angeles, San Francisco, etc., to head over to the tech havens of Houston and Austin. Those populations are going up quite a lot, and those motherfuckers are not voting red, at least not most of them. Demographically, Texas has a very decent likelihood of shifting to blue sometime soon if they're allowed to. If Texas shifts blue, doesn't that lock Republicans out of the presidency permanently? Not fully, but a little bit. Yeah, certainly Texas going blue would be like a monstrously difficult challenge for them to overcome. I mean, it's possible if they could do some, you know, Midwest sweep in spite of it. But no, if Texas goes blue, man, that would be very difficult for them to deal with. How would the Republicans even win post Blexus? Well, they'll kill you. That was their last plan. They didn't win in 2020, and their strategy after that was to, you know, kill the opposition, seize power, and put forward a Trump dictatorship, you know? As long as the GOP exists and has institutional power, you can't count them out, because fascists are willing to do whatever it takes to win. Unlike liberals, unlike institutionalists, you know, the GOP might have no chance of winning in a straight shot, but how many rules are they willing to break? Or they could just kill you, you know? You don't need 50% of the country to get behind a coup. You look at the history of coups, you know, it rarely requires even a tiny fraction of that. You excited for the J6 sequel after 2024? Yeah, we've been enjoying like the echoes of January 6th as a holiday, but pretty soon we'll get another fascist coup attempt. Hopefully the next one's unsuccessful as well, so it can stay a holiday and not be, you know, sort of memorialized the birth of a new nation that we won't get to see because we'll be dead, you know. So that's my hope. Imagine they have even fewer guards next time, Lamau. Yeah. The Capitol Police are like, there is no way they'd try it twice, you know. They're like, come on, and then it happens again. There's like one guy there. Yeah, the one cop's like, no fucking way. Yeah.